Hello, my name is Shirin Köprücü.
Hello, and I'm Karen Walsh.
We have come together today to share our 6-month-long experience where we utilized applied improv to practice negotiation skills in a community and received feedback. Karen, what do we mean with applied improv?
Well, we think about applied improv as taking the concepts, the ideas, and the techniques from the world of performance improv. A lot of us are familiar with that. And we apply this to business, relationships, and our life. And it's not about playing silly games or doing silly activities just to pass the time. It has actually become a very effective experiential learning experience that inspires and even entertains. And we think of doing a live session is like going to a gym where you create a muscle for some of these valuable skills that come from applied improv. And they strengthen our neural pathways. It basically mostly encourages collaboration and engagement, which what is negotiation? What do you
That
think, Sharon?
that's amazing. You introduced me to applied improv, and I've experienced it a little bit with DC Improv first, and then through our pilot study here in our community, wonderful community, and it truly feels like a gym. It truly feels um, like a practice, like even a physical practice,
Right.
and one comes out with amazing benefits we will talk about in this session. Now, how is it related to negotiations in your experience?
Well, I have been surprised. I started applied improv just because I was interested in the concept. And then I've actually noticed that it actually relates really well to the area of study and teaching and coaching that I've pursued all of my life. And a lot of these principles that come from applied improv, I've learned a lot with you, Sheridan, in terms of the work we do on engagement and connection and building trust when we're problem solving, creating something new, or sharing limited resources, which is what we call negotiation. What have you learned, Sheridan, in terms of how it actually applies to negotiation?
The biggest learning is, to be honest, about how the word negotiation can tense up people so much, and how when we come together as a group, we are there to truly start something new, solve problems, understand each other, and how we can co-create conversations from there. And I see a great connection because of that between applied improv
Yeah.
practice and practicing negotiation skills. I've also seen additional benefits. You have more experience. Would you like to start about these, sharing about these first?
Well, what I really love about the applied improv, it actually encourages us to do some actual live practice with live participants. And the exercises, what we've learned, not only in our own experience, but from our participants, the feedback we've gotten is this sense of curiosity and creativity and spontaneous collaboration that comes because practicing this kind of adaptability in on the spot reminds us of how important it is to stay creative and to stay relaxed. And many of us come from different fields, from many, many different kinds of practices. And many of us say that we take ourselves very seriously. So we want to take ourselves not too seriously, even though we all do very serious work. What's something else that you've noticed, Shidin?
Yes, what I have noticed is something that doesn't quite come naturally when we prepare for negotiations, and that is laughter. It's it is amazing how Applied Improv shows us that it is not too difficult to laugh together, which then has this relaxing effect, which then adds so much to regaining a meta view and becoming creative together. That is definitely something else that
That's a
I've
great
taken
point.
away from the community.
Great insight. Right.
With that, what are the can you share with us what the principles are, the underlying principles of applied improv?
Yeah, I find this is very interesting. It was a hidden gem to me when I found applied improv and how we could apply this to some of the work that we do. And in fact, we start every applied improv live session with these basic principles. And these are borrowed from performance improv, which are built on be curious and listen and be present, living in the moment, and being able to say yes and, which means we say yes, doesn't necessarily we always agree, but we take everything that's available and we build on it. We accept it and build, and we suspend judgment of ourselves and of others. And we use everything, and we embrace uncertainty, and we want to make our partner look good.
So important, so important. All these years, we've both worked in global mindset development. And for sure, there are various different ways we can approach the global mindset. One of the very strong ways, however, I have seen is through applied improv,
Mm,
because everyone comes in with their unique backgrounds and perspectives
mm.
without fear because of exactly the principles you've mentioned. And we connect and we co-create. And what is a better way of developing
Mm.
global mindset, I've thought, in our experience?
That's great insight in terms of the diversity and how hard it is to embrace that uncertainty of of different viewpoints and different behaviors. And people come at these problems in many different ways. I agree that there's so much about our applied improv sessions that show how it is possible with the intention to start with these basic principles.
Very basic principles.
Right.
And yeah, and the support of the community is amazing in applying these principles. How long does it take to learn applied improv, Karen?
Well, we have said that there are some rules and we relax into the rules when we start. However, something we talked about earlier is it is like a gym. The more that you actually practice this, we develop a muscle memory, and it's kind of that rewiring of our neural pathways to actually feel okay with suspending judgment, freeing up judgments and our cognitive bias, like you were just talking about, that often happens when we're problem solving or sharing limited resources with someone who thinks very differently than we do. And what we have found is the felt experience. It's actually rewiring our nervous system because we have a chance to receive positive feedback from others while we are problem solving and playing our games and doing debriefs with each other and learning something. How long do you think it takes to learn improv? Because you came into it very quickly.
And fairly new, of course, compared with you. And I have seen that it doesn't take too long at all. It was new to me in the first few sessions. So 3 sessions, I would
Mhm.
say. And then I saw how I was really looking forward to it. I was looking forward to my creativity. I was looking forward to the impact I was creating. So it doesn't take long at all, and
Mhm.
it's a great way of keeping moving forward.
I like that. That's great.
Yeah, yeah. And what about the impact of all this on our well-being? What would you like to share about that?
Well, this was a bit of a surprise that came out of the debriefs we've been doing with our participants is that not only people have learned a lot of these principles we've talked about before, actually had these felt experience, is that many have commented that they go away with a sense of well-being and resilience. Just having this practice, holding the stance of acceptance and support of ourselves and others, is that this feeling of safety and comfort in trying new things, in some cases the games might feel a little silly, actually created a sense of well-being. So we found that to be a really nice result of coming to live sessions and being part of a practice community, even just a short period of time, an hour session, very quickly, that we didn't expect this to be an exact impact on well-being, but there are some health benefits to this, and that people had felt they felt this greater sense of well-being. What about you, Shirin?
Yes, to me, it felt like if you were tense, you would come to these sessions and it would be something like a stretching session following a strengthening session. Or if you came into these sessions relaxed and curious, they would turn out to be strengthening, like strengthening your muscles. It depended a little bit on the activity as well. So I totally believe that there is an impact on our physical well-being um, following following applying applied improv.
Yeah, wasn't that a surprise for us? That's great.
It
Really,
truly is.
really surprised. I like it. I felt the same way.
They're great fun, and we hope our listeners here enjoy our learning from our experience. Let us know the challenges you experience when you're collaborating and negotiating, and let's discuss how we can overcome these through a community. To join our community, get in touch with either of us, Karen or me, on LinkedIn, and we can share the steps to join the community, which is named the Applied Improv for Negotiators. You can also find links for subscribing to the community on our LinkedIn profiles. Thank you for listening and see you in practice.
See you soon.